Isn't God great? Isn't he incredible? So, welcome back. Hold on, let's make sure I'm recording, because sometimes I'll be doing that. Okay, we're good. Welcome back to BG3, Bad Girls Gone Good. I cannot believe this is like my 6th episode. I've not been as consistent and as intentional as I desire to be when it comes to this project. But the fact that we've made it 6 weeks is kind of incredible to me, and all glory goes to God, and I'm so grateful. I did just post an episode, a bonus episode on Spotify, and it's loading on YouTube, sharing resources, sharing all the things that have helped me over the years as a single parent, times when I couldn't pay rent, times when I needed help with utilities, times when just things were not going as I would have liked for them to go. I shared even some recent help that I received that paid my rent for like, I don't know, maybe like 6 months. It's pretty much paid throughout April of next year. So glory be to God for that. But I'm sharing all those details on the bonus episode that I just posted. But we're going to get a real episode right now going, because today has been a day. It's just been a crazy day. And I don't know about you, but you know your blessing or a blessing is right around the corner when stuff just starts hitting you. It's like the enemy can almost feel it coming too, so he's doing his best to make sure you don't get to it. And I just rebuke him. I rebuke him for me, and I rebuke him for you in the name of Jesus. And we gonna get to it, okay? So today, like I said, it's been a little bit crazy, and I'm just grateful for this platform. I'm grateful for this space to be able to speak about these type of things, and hopefully share what I'm learning through them, or what I've learned in past times that is related to getting through these things, and help somebody else too, because that's the whole purpose of life, is to help other people. And I'm newly single, like for real single. I've really been single since December, January, but I've had a little lingering thing. If you've been here for the past weeks, you know about it. But I really decided, like, I am not going into 2025 doing the same thing, okay? And I'm just gonna touch that really quick, because we're not giving him any more time than we've already wasted on him. But my ex was a great dude, type of guy I could call up. Me and my girls are out. He'd come, foot all the bill, buy me jewelry, buy me bags, buy me this, buy me that. And those things were great. But when it came down to doing work and taking accountability and like really growing as a person and finding habits that can become better, or habits that you need to have that you don't have, like working out, just little things. I'm not even going to get into the detail. Like, he just refused to grow. Like, he was okay in his whatever he was in. I'm not gonna throw that man out there like that. Like I said, he's a good man. He really had good intentions, I think, towards me, but he just was not my man. Like, I'm growing, I'm elevating. Every single day, I wanna hit new levels. Every single day, I wanna become better than the person that I was yesterday. And so if I'm gonna have a partner, you gotta be on the same type of time as me, baby, or I just wasted 2.5 years of my life. Well, it wasn't wasted. I learned a lot, but again, we just not bringing that back into 2025. So let's put a pin in. We're not even gonna put a pin in that. We're gonna put a period at the end of that, and that's over with. So thank you, because these type of things that I'm getting ready to talk about are things that I would normally call him up and be like, "Oh my gosh, can you believe this happened?" Blah 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 blah. But it's like, now I still can talk about it and hopefully help somebody else, because he didn't really want no help. So I just want to first say, if you know somebody that is wanting to adopt, please encourage them to adopt a race that they are familiar with. Adopt a race that is in their community, because my mother endured and is still struggling to get past so much trauma from being adopted into an all-white family as a little mixed Black baby. She didn't have anybody her color growing up around her, was called a nigger, her hair was nappy all the time, was called a little boy because nobody knew how to do her hair. There's just so much trauma that she had to endure based off of someone caring. You know what I'm saying? Like, they felt like they were doing a kind act by adopting her. I'm sure their intentions were pure. But again, if you know somebody, like if you ever come across somebody that's considering adopting, like, please just share that tidbit with them, because baby, like, how are you going to take care of somebody that you don't even, your ancestors didn't even want to take care of them? But I'm not about to get into all that. The reason I'm bringing this up is because, baby, my white side of the family is, I, I don't even know that I want to call them my family anymore. The older I get, the more that I realize it's like, wow, I don't think I ever really had family. And that's okay. It's cool. Like, we've made it yet and still. But wow, the fact that me and two of my cousins were literally sexually assaulted and abused for several years out of our childhood, and to this day nothing's being said or done about it, is really disturbing. And it's like, I do my part to heal, therapy, read the books, forgive and forgive again, because sometimes, you'll forgive and then something will trigger you and it'll come back up and you just got to choose to forgive again. But I've been doing all that for me. I've been doing it, like, not even to save face of anybody else, but I want peace in my life. I don't want to be held back. I don't want to be feeling no negative type of way about anybody. I want all the positivity I could possibly get in my life. So that means I have to remove all the negativity that I have control over removing. So as far as that situation goes, I've done a lot of work. I'm sure there's still more work to be done. You know what? I'm going to show my YouTube family. Look, I got 2 subscribers talking about I'm going to show my YouTube family, but it's okay. Hello. These 2 books, like, look at how thick these are. And I haven't made it very far, but I've been doing the work. These are guides for survivors of child sexual abuse. And baby, like I said, I do the work. I don't just expect myself to wake up one day and be all the way healed. No, you're going to have to do some work, and it's not going to be easy, and it's going to hurt. So I first put something online about my family, I want to say like around COVID. I had started dancing, and I was very open about me dancing. I've never really cared about the opinions of other people. So, whatever. This is where I'm at right now in my life. Stuff is hard. I need to take care of my son, and this is the way that I know how to take care of him right now, immediately. It was not the only way, as I convinced myself, and I had to endure a lot of consequences because of my choices. So I do not suggest that you do that. Please learn from my mistakes. But I was open about it, and my family was so ashamed. They had so much to say about me dancing, and I wasn't raised this way. I know better. I'm gonna get my son taken away from me. I'm gonna die. This, that, and the third. Like, it was just, oh my gosh, the world was ending because I decided to dance and put it online. So smart mouth me, I'm like, posted a little status, and I'm like, why is my family so worried about what I'm doing to put food in my son's mouth, when the reason I'm so comfortable being like this is because of the abuse that we endured when we were children? Like, what? Like, my body was being used and I didn't have no control over it. Now I got control over it and I can get paid. Like, and I don't even really got to do nothing unless I want to. Like, come on. Again, that was not the best mind frame for me to have, but that's what I had at the time. So at that time, everybody's like, take that down. Da, 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 da. You don't need to be telling nobody about that. They have a family. Those boys have kids. They have wives and kids. Okay, I got a kid too. I was married too. There's things that I struggled to get past that prevented me from probably being successful in my marriage. And I'm not going to say it was my fault, the reason that we didn't last. But I definitely cheated on my husband. He was not pleasing me sexually. And I'm sorry that I probably shouldn't put that out there, but I ended up cheating on him. There were many ways that he wasn't pleasing me, but that was just one of them. And I ended up cheating on him. And I'm pretty sure that stems from getting an appetite for sexual desires at 4 years old. Like, I've been like, my ex used to kind of get upset because I wasn't always in the mood. And I had to tell him, baby, I've been doing this all my life. Like, give me a break sometimes. But I digress. So yeah. They were really upset about that. Take it down. Don't tell nobody. So I'm like, okay, I'll remain quiet. Y'all want to remain quiet? I can. And I took it. I think I ended up taking it down. And I've been doing the work ever since. But it seems like for the past 3 years, the mom of the 2, I'm not even going to call them cousins no more. Like, this is just like the 2 boys that were performing the abusive acts. The mom is like constantly on my page, just like harassing me, like bullying me, like commenting funny stuff that she thinks is funny, and it's not funny. Like, just leave me alone. Like, why are you being rude? Like, why are you even coming up? Like, if you have anything to say to me, how about you apologize to me for the things that you allowed to go on in your household for all those years that have significantly, greatly affected the lives of not just me, but other people as well. How about let's talk about that instead of you coming on here trying to be funny? So that happened today. She got on there trying to be funny, and I clapped back. I did in the most respectful Christian way that I could. Definitely with some curse words flying around in there. I just was like, what? Like, do you have nothing better to do? So yeah, that was that. And my son, I'm going through some stuff with him too. It's just like, I'm trying so hard to undo so many things that I did. Like, I exposed him to a lot. Being in that lifestyle, dancing, and just literally being out of my mind for several years because I was messed up. Things were happening to me as a kid. My mama wasn't around. My daddy wasn't around. I had no family for real. Like, I was just out here trying to figure it out. It was just me and God, and I wasn't really listening to God for most of the part. So it was just me and following my intuition, which was not connected to God at the time, led me down some very, very dark roads, even as a mother. And so unfortunately, my son had to go down a lot of those dark roads with me. And now that I'm over that season in my life, it's like I'm about to start crying. Oh, God, it's so good. I'm really just trying to undo all the damage that I did and be the mother that I knew I could always be. And just pour into my son and show him that there's way more to life than everything that he sees on TikTok and YouTube and all these shortcuts that people think they have to success. Like, there are no shortcuts in life. God is the only way. So I'm trying my best to instill that in him. And it's just like, it's not easy. It's not easy, especially because I haven't fully gotten there myself. I've made huge steps. I'm nowhere where I used to be, nowhere close to where I used to be, but I still have a lot of work to do. And so I try my best just to lead by example. But I know the enemy wants my son, especially because he can't get to me like he used to. He's going to try to get to my baby, and children are more susceptible. He doesn't have all the wisdom that I have. He hasn't gone through a lot of the things that I've gone through. And so I just tried to tell him right now, like, baby, your mom did it, so you don't have to. Like, you do not have to. You don't have to act like you want to live this life that brings nothing. You know, you have everything already, literally. So God's got that under control, and I know he will continue to bless my son and I know my son will grow up to be an amazing man of God. I know he will, and he's going to make a woman very, very happy one day because he is an incredible little boy. He is so caring, he is so nurturing, he is so loving, he is just amazing, okay? But kids these days, they literally have access to everything whenever they want, and even if I take his phone, which I do a lot. Actually, we started something, I want to say September, Tech Tuesday, Tech Thursday. So I let him have his phone only on Tuesdays and Thursdays throughout the week. And I feel like it has definitely brought some improvements in my household for sure. But I feel like it's not enough. Like, I dang near need that phone like all the time. Like, I don't even want you to have a phone at this point. So I don't know. I don't have the answers as far as parenting goes. So I just go to God and give it to him. And I know he's going to control it. So my son's in there right now writing out Proverbs. And he's so irritated. He's like, he gave me the look when I told him that's what I wanted him to do. He gave me the look like, Mom, you know this ain't really like, what is that making me do? So I told him, like, these are the things that you need to be memorizing. This Bible right here, this word right here. So I don't mind punishing you by making you write the Bible. You want to go memorize all these songs talking about shoot, shoot, bang, bang, kill, kill, steal, steal. This is what you need to be putting in your head. So we got it. We're going to get it. This is just the beginning. Just the beginning. Breathe, Mom. Literally. The enemy is trying. He is trying, but baby, it's not going to work. He done worked too many times before. Not this time. And then my little brother calls me, which is so unusual because we hang out, like, but he doesn't call me. Like, he's in college, he's doing his own thing. When we talk, it's great. We just had hour-long conversations for his birthday, Thanksgiving. Like we really be kicking it. He is so smart. My brother is, he says he's on the spectrum. I don't think that he's ever got diagnosed professionally, but he's like self-diagnosed himself with autism, and he's got some other disabilities working for him, right? But he is so brilliant. Like, I learned so much from this dude every single time I talk to him, and I'm so grateful to have him as a little brother, a little big brother, because he is big. But he calls me and I'm like, what? He doesn't really call me. So I answer and he's just going off. He's going through it. Some stuff happening at school with his classes and this, that, and the third. And he's asking me, have I talked to my mom? Do I know where she's at? And I actually did talk to her, because when the stuff happened earlier with her adopted sister that I will no longer be calling my aunt, I'm like, Ma, I want to let you know what's going on before it gets back to you, just in case it gets back to you. But would you believe she's still bothering me after all these years? And I read her everything. I read her everything that I said, all the cuss words and everything. And she was just like, ooh, okay. You're like, that's a lot, but I don't disagree with you. You know, everything that you said is true. So it is what it is. And so we talked for a little bit. And so when my brother called me, he was like, have you talked to mommy? Blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, actually, she's a cheerleading coach. She's at her game right now. So he goes into explaining his current issues, and I just let him vent, and I prayed for him. And I gave him some possible solutions, some conflict resolution. And during one of those solutions that I presented to him, I was like saying something. I was saying it in my head, and I was like, wait, that's not right. Don't say that out loud. But I was like, wait, it kind of is right. Go ahead and say it out loud. So I'm going to make it make sense. I was telling him to write his professor, and I was telling him to like what words to use to kind of like trigger and like pull at the professor's heart to have some mercy on him. And I told him to include in there, like, hey, I'm the first one in my immediate family to ever go to college, to ever take college, like, you know, to take a career serious. And I really need your help with this situation. So the whole time I'm thinking, like, I'm in his immediate family. I definitely got a degree sitting over there working on a postgraduate degree. But whole time, like, that's really not my immediate family. I'll be honest, like, God and Nemo is the only immediate family that I've ever had in my life. My grandparents, they definitely did a wonderful job at providing me with an environment that encouraged a relationship with God, but no immediate or good family member, like no real family member, is going to sit by and allow you to get abused, point blank, period, and do nothing about it and tell you when you're grown, hey, figure it out. We ain't had nothing for you then. We still ain't got nothing for you now, baby, but you better shut it up. Don't say nothing about it. Like, that's not family. Like, I've never really had a family. So talking to my brother, like, I realized that, like, yes, that's my brother. Yes, that's my sister. Yes, this is my mom. Yes, this is my dad. Yes, I'm close with, you know, my aunties on my dad's side. But, like, they have a family dynamic. Like, brothers, sisters, all that. Like, my brother came when I was 12 years old. Actually, I think I had turned 13. I found out my mom was pregnant when I was 12. So our age gap, like we're close, but not as near as close as like a regular dynamic of siblings. So I just had that realization. I'm like, dang, God, you've been holding it down this whole entire time. And I'm just grateful. Even people that have come in my life to like pretend to be family, I'm gonna tell y'all this one other little situation, and then I'm done with this episode because we are 12 minutes away from our 30-minute mark. So there was this lady, and she called herself my mom. She was actually she was a friend's mother from somebody that I went to high school with, this guy. And people used to say that we looked alike. And so we just like kind of ran with it. And I'm like, yeah, that's my mama, that's my daughter, yada, yada, yada. And just for so many years, that's how it was. And we just kept in contact. Even when I wasn't talking to her son anymore, her and I were still close. She would invite me over for events, this, that, and the third. And it was a really long relationship, I guess you could say. Like for several years we kept in touch. So when I moved back in the area, we started hanging out. And it was kind of like as normal. I really thought that this was a friend, but there were so many signs that showed me like this is not a friend that you want to have. Like just the way that she would talk about her other friends to me, it's like, dang, this somebody that you really locked in with. You ain't even really locked in with me like this. So I know you saying worse stuff about me to them. But just like there were just so many things. I'm not gonna get into it. I knew better than to really trust her, but I did. And when I tell you, oh my gosh, the betrayal that I felt from trusting her was like no other. And I shared it a little bit in the last episode, but I'll go into a little bit more detail now. So I had gotten behind on my rent. Was that last year? Yeah, I'd gotten behind on my rent last year and was like, I'm not going to be able to catch up. And I got this really, really good job right before the time that I needed to leave the apartment. So I'm like, okay, do I try to catch up? Do I try to get another apartment? Well, like, what do I do here? And so I just prayed about it. And basically, the best thing for me to do was just to find something else. So I didn't have all the money. You know, they want dang near $5,000 up front to move into an apartment these days. So I didn't have all the money right away. I had just started the job to get an apartment. So I was like, okay, well, we'll find like temporary housing, like a room in somebody's home, which we've done before. My last few months in Vegas, we stayed in this big old house with these two girls, these two white girls, Courtney, and I forget, I think her friend's name was Sam, the roommate, but they were super cool and it was incredible. We had a pool and everything. It was great. So I was like, maybe we could do something like that again. And it's cheap, right? So I was looking for a place, had a couple of showings, somewhere out in Valpo, somewhere in Maryville, and it just like nothing was working out. I applied for one and he was like, hey, I think I got a better fit. This person doesn't have a kid and they're looking more long term, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, dang, I'm kind of stressed out. So crunch time, like deadlines were approaching, and I sat down with this lady that I called my mother friend, which was really neither when it came down to it. But I sat down with her and I was like, hey, like, I know you've talked to me before about Nemo and I coming to stay with you guys when we were going through stuff, you know, in earlier years. But now I can kind of help you, like, not really just stay with you, but you help me and I help you. Like, I can give you some money because I was planning on giving a stranger money anyways. So why not? Let's just, you know, have this agreement. We can help each other. So her and her husband sat down. We all sat down. We talked about it, and we were like, okay, cool. They were looking to get a new car, and it just worked out. So, first of all, the agreement, when I brought it up, I wanted to go into one of their bedrooms, right? Because that's where I was looking for a room. And so, anyways, long story short, so the work was getting done in the bedroom. So me and my son was in a basement. Like we was staying I was paying to stay in the basement, which I guess whatever. It was a place. It was a roof over our heads, but that was not really what I had signed up for. So we were staying in the basement, and I ended up losing my job. Like, come to find out, the ladies in that job didn't just treat me the way that I was being treated. They had treated the previous manager that way before because the assistant manager really wanted the job, but corporate thought she wasn't ready. So they kept putting people in the manager position. And so the assistant manager was getting with the other girls and was like, let's bully these people out so I can take this position, because I ran into the previous manager and she had the same story as me. So I ended up getting let go. And I was struggling. I was struggling really, really bad. I can't even explain. Like, I was falling into a deep depression. I was looking for jobs everywhere. I had ate up all the applications in the Northwest Indiana area. So I started looking for jobs in Indy. I started looking for jobs in Lafayette. I got a job in Lafayette. I was commuting. I was driving an hour and 15 minutes to go to work just so I can get a paycheck because I have a kid, okay? Outside of this little bread that I was going to be giving y'all, I gotta take care of my son. You know what I'm saying? I got bills too. I got a phone, I got a car note, I got insurance, I got all these things that I need to take care of too. So I was just booking it, trying to find work wherever I could find work. I even like applied for jobs in New Orleans because I'm like, at the end of the day, I have to work. So if this is where God is calling me, what He's calling me to do, I'm willing. I'm opening up myself. I'm not just limiting myself to right here because right here is not working right now. So they would always make like snarky remarks and like, why are you going to Lafayette to work? Like, why are you looking for jobs in Indianapolis? Why are you doing that? Like, do y'all not see? Anyways, I digress. So it came down to it. I ended up, oh, this is AAA. Pause, please. Hello?
Hello, Jamie with AAA. I'm actually right here in the parking lot.
Okay, I'll be down in just a moment. Give me just a few minutes.
Okay.
Thank you. So, yeah, I don't know what it is about this cold weather and my car not wanting to start, but it's really getting annoying. I just got a battery last year, so I know it's not the battery, but we'll see. Wrapping this up. So basically, I had shared that with her. I was like, I sent her a long old text message because I could tell the energy was shifting because I wasn't able to pay them for 2 months. Obviously, I didn't have a job. I was really, really struggling. So I could feel the energy starting to shift, and it was just like really, really weird. So I basically just like poured my heart out to the lady, knowing I couldn't really trust her. But hey, at least I'm letting you know where I stand right now. Like, girl, I'm depressed. I can't even pay for a haircut for my son. Like, I am struggling here. I want to let you know, like, I have every intention to pay y'all, but right now, like, my mental, everything is just messed up. Like, basically, like a cry for help. Like, girl, I need you to be a friend. And she was just basically like, okay. And so in my head, whole time I'm thinking, you know what? If this is all she has to offer in our friendship is a roof over our head right now, I will accept it. I'll be happy. You ain't got to be we ain't got to talk. You ain't got to be no friend to me. You are providing a roof for me and my son, a roof over our head right now. Like, that's enough for me. So I was happy. Like, I was content, but I was still struggling. So one day her husband, like just stops me in my tracks. I literally, like, my car was running. I was in the middle of doing a whole bunch of stuff, but he just like shut all that down and was like, yo, what's up? You know, it's been a few months and it's been a couple months. You haven't paid us since, you know, we had an agreement and you said that you would actually only be here for a few months and it's been a few months and this, that, and the third and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like blindsided, like, whoa, do we not live together? Do you not see? Like, do I not talk to you? Do I not tell you everything that's going on with me? Like, I can't really just pull $1,000 out and hand it over to you because trust me, if I could, I would. But that's not the situation that I'm in right now. And by no means was I looking to stay anywhere for free. I just did not have it right then and there. So I walked away from the situation and I prayed on it. And I'm like, God, I cannot see myself going back into these people's house and being comfortable, knowing that they're looking at me funny, like, you know, looking for some money from me, and I don't have the money to give them. So God basically told me, like, get your stuff and leave. And I'm like, God, I don't have nowhere to go. And he was like, you better go find you a shelter or something. Like, he didn't say that to me, but basically, like, you better, like, I told myself that. But he was like, you gotta go. So I went back, and when the husband had brought this to me, the wife wasn't there. She was at work. But by this time, she was home from work. I had texted them and I was like, hey, can the three of us sit down and talk? And so we all sat down and I basically just shared that with them. I was like, hey, to salvage whatever is left in this friendship, I would rather me and my son go move and put our things in a storage and us go to a shelter than for us to not be friends anymore. Baby, a hit dog hollered because the offense that was taken, it was like I said something wrong. Like, I did nothing wrong. Like, I did something wrong. And I'm just like, whoa, okay, let me start getting my things. So I started to get my things and they were like, here, we're going to give you your money back so you can never say it was about the money. And I said, well, it definitely was about the money. Like, the whole reason we having this conversation is because your husband asked me, where's the money? But okay, thank you for giving me all my money back. I definitely can use that to get a hotel instead of staying in a shelter. But so when I said it's definitely about the money, she got like, you could have, like, two horns came from out of her head and she just started attacking me verbally. And I was like, girl, I am not trying to hear none of this. I'm trying to get my stuff and I'm trying to get it out of the house. And she is just going off on me. I couldn't even tell you half of the stuff she was saying, but I know one thing that she said that really ticked me off because I was really trying to tune her out and just get my stuff and leave. But she came downstairs as I'm going to the basement and packing my stuff. She came downstairs and she said, your own family wouldn't even help you. So I ran up on her and my breath was probably stinking and all. I'm sure it was. I ran up on her and I said, what you want to do? You want to be my, what you want to do? What you want to do? Because I'm with all that. So at that point, I was like, Sierra, you will kill this lady. Like, she's an older lady. She's not worth going to jail. You got a son. Like, just get yourself and get out. So I called the police on her in her own house. I surely did. Because if I end up having to put hands on her, I would love for them to see who the instigator was because I'm not going to jail behind this one. So I called the police on her and basically was like, I'm just trying to get my things. She's literally harassing me, yelling down my back. I just want to get my things and get up out of her house. That's it. I don't see what the problem is. So she want to lie and say, oh, we been told her to get her things. Girl, okay, all right. But she's a liar. She is. She lies to her husband. Like, why wouldn't she lie to me? Don't trust nobody that'll lie to their husband or lie to their spouse, period. So long story short, if you don't have no family, it's okay. Join the club. God is enough. Literally. That's all you need is the Lord Jesus Christ, and he will make a way out of no way. So thank you for joining me for, I guess this will be like the 7th episode, because the bonus episode that I just threw out there about the resources was the 6th. So thank you for joining me, and we will be back again next week. Let me go get my